what we're thinking outside of Hyatt, why Mark hates Turkish and LifeMiles, rebooking his whole trip 2 weeks out, all the stress of that. You're going to see lots of rants and all of that coming up right now on MTM Travel, the travel show.
Get the bleep button ready.
So, Mark, I am fresh this morning, wearing the same clothes as I was on our last show. After staying at MGM Grand, I stayed at MGM Grand last night. I'll talk about it more on the Vegas show and stuff like that, but hadn't stayed there in a while. Newly renovated rooms, and I'm really interested to actually dive into the nerdiness of the room and like the different levels of material and achieving like a modern room design while also not being super luxury and so how all of that sort of does. So I don't know that I'll go into this show because you got a lot of your travel stuff to go on. But I want to say I really did enjoy the new rooms at MGM Grand, a lot to share there. And that was a Chase Edit booking. So I know a lot of people are kind of interested because it's one of the cheaper maybe options in Vegas on Chase Edit where you don't get the breakfast with it, but you get $100 property credit and stuff like that. So people can look for that on a future show, but hadn't stayed at the old green, I don't know, what do we call it? The old Green Beast? I don't know, in a while.
The most confusing casino in all of Vegas when you walk around it, Hodgepodge.
No, that's
or
Caesar's.
Yeah.
Come on.
I've never stayed at MGM. I've been inside there quite a few times. I've just never spent there was nothing really drawing me there that I wanted to stay in the room, and it used to be kind of their crown jewel. So I was always surprised that they let it kind of drop down to mid-tier, below mid-tier maybe. So it's good to see them breathe some life back into it. And it looks like they've done a good job from everything I've seen. So I'm glad to hear that you liked it when you were in there in person.
So yeah, I mean, in MGM Grand, a lot of history there, being on the Strip. So a lot of cool stuff that I have from my travels that'll go on the Vegas show recently. Talked obviously about Long Beach last week, but let's talk Hyatt. I mean, the news for everybody has been the Hyatt devaluation or changes or whatever you want to call it. A huge devaluation because adding 5 different tiers to their categories I don't know. It's a huge change. If you look at a few years ago when they just had one and then peak and off peak, and it really has made people rethink what they should do as far as programs. Hyatt was never, they never had the best footprint, right? So it was never the program that was the best from that perspective. It never had the best range of properties, maybe never even had the best range of brands. But what I would say Hyatt always did best was there was good value to their program. They partnered obviously with Chase, which opened up the ability to earn points really well. And then when you went to their properties, it was very consistent the way you were treated, which was if you had a benefit, generally you wouldn't have a problem with that. And if you did have a problem with that, Hyatt would solve it. And I don't think that aspect of it has changed. And so where I sit today, and I'll go more into this, but I'd love to hear what you have to say, is I'm not really changing my Hyatt strategy all that much, although I've already been somewhat diversified, and I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute.
Yeah, I think the great thing about Hyatt was that the floor was very high. Maybe the ceiling wasn't as high as an SPG or super high-end Waldorf Astorias or IHG, but it's up in that realm, and I think they've added, through partnerships and other things, they've added a bigger footprint, and they've added some higher-end properties. But the real value was, I'm going to get 1.8, 2 cents per point, stuff like that. You could get really outsized value at times. And that's been sliding backwards a bit. Anyway, Chase hasn't really updated their earning levels at all. There's still not a great way to earn for gas or grocery for Ultimate Rewards. So that's always hurt the program too. And then the Hyatt card never added those things. So I think it would be nice if they added those too. Like you, I've divested a bit, probably more than you. I've divested away from Hyatt. It's still in my repertoire, but I don't book it first. It's not even like I don't just look where is the Hyatt wherever I'm going. I kind of search different brands, and Hilton might be my number one right now, and a lot of that has to do with their free night certs. We talked about on the Miles and Points show last week. Marriott lets you top them off now at $25K. Hyatt doesn't let you top them off at all. Hilton, you don't need to top them off because they work anywhere with a standard room. So I'm going to continue to plow and collect those things as much as I can, as long as those stay the way they are. They're immensely valuable, 2 or 3 times more valuable than any other free night cert probably. And then I earn a lot of points along the way, so then I just book hotels with that. If it was just points, they probably wouldn't even be top 2 or 3. But when you combine the free night certs, that's kind of where I'm starting at right now.
Yeah, although you do have the problem with the value of the certs, and the same thing with the breakfast. I don't know, are you actually getting that value? But you are on points. I think that I think you go back to like basics here. The first thing that I would tell somebody as a beginner is it's hard to like okay, well, Hilton points are worth zero point 0.4 cents, Marriott point point 0.8, Hyatt 1.5, and then you're like, oh, well, Hyatt's the best, right? But you really have to look at the earnings side of it. And indeed, like if you go spend, let's say you were to get a credit card status, right? You get a credit card. Which credit card gives you the status? Which program? Well, Hilton allows you to get diamond status, which is really good. You can get platinum with Marriott with their premium credit card. So you can kind of dial into those programs and then you can get enhanced earning. But basically, all the programs are giving you 8 to 9% back on your spend. And I think that's a good, interesting way to see how they earn it, even though most people are probably not actually spending cash if you're trying to use miles and points. But I think that when you look at it that way, you see that Hyatt isn't more valuable. And I just from the actual value of a point perspective, because they are harder to earn. And so they're just sort of doing it all in a different way. So yeah, look at where can I jumpstart, for instance, with Hilton and the credit cards, getting free night certs, getting status, if that's something important to you. I think the footprint's important, and IHG is something a lot of people overlook. They have a lot of great hotels, even from high-end brands to not. I mean, the redemption values aren't always there, but they have enhanced in the last few years with better elite status. Accor, I think, that's another one we've talked about, and you really talked me into it. And I think that's a good example of, I wasn't really doing a lot with Accor, but then a deal came along, and obviously it was the Bilt rent day thing for you. It was the Citi thing for me, where the value was enough, and I did it knowing that they have a footprint and knowing that I have points there. And similarly, I have balances in IHG, Hilton, Marriott. But I don't earn them as fast as I earn Hyatt. And I also have a huge ultimate reward stash. So that has fed Hyatt for me. But I think the future is diversification, not really sticking with one program. And I don't get a ton of value out of Hyatt to just do Hyatt anymore. And I don't earn ultimate rewards in bundles like I used to, just to blindly go spend 80 grand on a category 8 Hyatt, when it's a high season or something.
No, I really like the IHG program. I think that's overlooked. I mean, their credit card, when they refreshed it, was actually one of the few times that a credit card refresh actually makes it a lot better. The earning the 5x on those categories, which is like gas and dining and stuff like that, added something to it that you could, okay, I could see using this card. And then if you spend $20,000, you get the $100 statement credit, and I believe 10,000 points. It is, so that increases your return on all of that spend even better. So we're talking in the realm of something that's good. Surpass has always earned 6x in dining and grocery and gas, so that's good earning potential there. So a lot of it is like, how do you want to do this? Where does your spend go? And what kind of works for you? I love the Accor program. I've only been dabbling in it for like a year or so now, outside of the Fairmont and Bermuda, which is playing games with that, and that's annoying. But I love that you can use your points for anything on property. Like, you want breakfast, charge that breakfast back to your room, and you can redeem the points. And the points are locked in at like 2.3. I think it's 2.3 cents per point right now, US dollars. So hey, don't worry about it. Get those drinks by the pool. Get those drinks at night. Have a nice dinner. Everything can be cashed out at the time of checkout with points. Very cool, very unique. I've even booked rooms where the second room, you get the family discount. A lot of times you can book a second room half off, but not on a point stay, or they charge you cash. This one, you get it half off, and then you can redeem points on it. So there's a lot of unique things to that. IHG, like I said, I think I find that they're a little bit cheaper than Hilton. Like if it's a 30,000 or 40,000 point a night roadway hotel, the Holiday Inn is 20,000 or 15,000. So I think there's some overlooked value there. I've never dealt much with Marriott. Wyndham was great when it was 15K everywhere. There's still some value there, but I don't dive into it much. But the one I think people overlook, and Benji's going to be very happy about this if he ever listens, Choice. I think people greatly overlook Choice.
I agree, and I overlook Choice too, although I have used them on occasion, and I agree that it's a program. And I think it's just a matter of opening your eyes and being ready. Now, what's important to you too, like elite recognition, if that's important to you, then Hyatt is going to be the best program for that. Because I will tell you that Marriott is probably the worst in my experience. Hilton in the U.S., I mean, it varies what you get, but it's not great. I mean, at least now with the credits and stuff, I don't know, it's maybe better than it was at certain points, but it's not really that valuable. IHG depending on the brand. And so there's a lot of stuff there. But I want to go back to like 10 years ago, and you remember this. Everybody was staying at Radisson's, right? Why were we staying
Yeah,
at Radisson's? Because the
the
Club
BOGO.
Carlson credit card, yeah, had a BOGO. And so we
Yeah,
all stayed at Radisson Blues and Radisson's, and everybody in this space was the biggest
the
fan of
8
Radisson.
Radisson Blues that were in the world.
I love the Radisson red light districts, though. They came out with the Radisson red brand, and I just thought that was the strangest sort of thing. But I stayed in a lot of different Radisson Club Carlson properties at the time. Now, those are all part of Choice Hotels now, which kind of brings you to the Choice thing. But the point I'm making is that there was an outsized benefit, and we all jumped to that. And we should just look for the best values, and it's not always going to be with one program, and there's still going to be plenty of opportunity. And I think Hyatt's still going to be nice there. You've also talked about guest of honors and finding people who are still doing it. Maybe they'll get you a guest of honor or something like that. And then when you start to calculate all of that, it becomes increasingly more difficult to justify getting the 60 nights unless you're very organically getting there anyway, which is something I've always done until last year where I had to actually supplement some stuff. And then you really got to question that at that point.
Yeah, I think this change makes it so that maybe mattress running isn't worth it anymore and things like that. So you'll have to see that. Maybe they'll come out with a good They haven't really come out with any good promos lately, elite night wise or status match wise, or even the credit card or discount on rooms or rebate on rooms points wise. We haven't seen that in a couple years, so that's been sad too. But I mean, IHG doesn't do their points breaks anymore, or their weird promos where you stay one night and you get 40,000 points. Like all the cool stuff died with COVID. But yeah, I think Hilton still has the best mid-tier card, the Surpass, that you get gold status if you don't have it from like Amex Platinum or something. I think that gives you a decent array of benefits, especially internationally, and it only costs you $100. I think that's the easiest entry point for any of these hotel programs. It's a decent earning card. You can earn that free night cert with 15K spend, 6X categories. So I think that's a card everybody should at least consider. The Hyatt card, like the free night certs, I said before that 5 free night certs went away. They might be more valuable now because when the award chart changes, that's going to change how much you can get for each of those certs. And yes, it's fake points and they just raised the rates. It doesn't really get you better hotels, but everything's relative. So that might be worth still spending 15K and the one you get every year for the annual fee. So just run those numbers for yourself, but don't look a stinky eye at Wyndham or Choice. I mean, 2-to-1 from ThankYou points, where you can earn them at 3X on dining, grocery store, and gas. That's 6X Choice points per dollar, and you can get some really nice hotels for 35 or 40,000 points a night.
$150 annual fee for gold status is a deal. I mean, what you get, especially internationally with Hilton on the Surpass, this is what we're talking about. Go where the deals are, diversify yourself, look at what's important, and don't just look at cents per point for value, and just give it a little bit of thought, and you'll see that there's so much opportunity across different programs for different reasons and different days.
Yeah, plus you get those $50 dining credits now. That's if you look at it that way, right?
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
quarter.
I'm so behind on my I got called out for not being more on top of all the options I have in Las Vegas for my Hilton credits. I mean, I knew there was a whole database of this. No, I knew that like people were collecting it. I knew it existed, but I was just being lazy to go look at it. And I shout out to Han who sent it to me. And yeah, I mean, I can go get Starbucks gift cards at Resorts World. That's a pretty good use where like I drink Starbucks, so maybe do that. But yeah, so many options.
Yeah, I mean the food hall or the fake food hall at Resorts World, I think works too. So there's so many Hiltons on the Strip alone, much less everywhere else in Greater Vegas, that there's got to be some. Go get some massages at the Waldorf.
Yeah, maybe I'll talk about that on a Vegas show about that spreadsheet if it's public. I think it is public that people can look at, and I'm sure there's a lot of people looking into that. But we want to hear about your Turkish. Why you hate everything right now? What's going on with
Yeah.
Turkish
Yeah,
Airlines?
so I mean, we're gonna get into. I had to rebook everything because of everything that's going on with, and I'm just worried. We were flying into Istanbul. We're gonna stay in Istanbul for a couple days. I'm not worried about that really getting attacked or anything. I'm just worrying for like the greater area. It's close enough to everything that's happening that I don't want to get stranded there or have anything happen, or just because I'm there as an American, anything to go down. So better safe than sorry is my motto. I think it would have been perfectly fine, but like we talked about, hey, just make the decision that works for you. So we wanted to pivot off. We still have the booking that we booked for 70K Aeroplan from Detroit to Istanbul in business on Turkish. Really good deal, good flight, decently length and all of that. And I've heard good things about the hard and soft product, or at least the soft product. But their IT is horrible. Like I can't check in for any of the flights. And we'll talk about like the rebooked flights in a second, but they want the ticket number and the 5-digit code, and I put in the code, then they ask for the ticket number, put in the ticket number, they say, oh, that ticket number doesn't match your last name. And I think this is an issue that if they change the flight some, they issue a new ticket number or something, so you have to call and get it. I don't know, but this is ridiculous. The app sucks, the online sucks, nothing works, I can't check in. I'm going to do it at the airport. I think it will be fine, but how annoying is all of this?
I mean, I was just when you were telling me this story a little bit earlier, I was like, I just ran into that last year, and I couldn't remember what airline it was. It was somewhere in Asia, where I needed a ticket number, and I had a call to get the ticket number, and I had a ticket number, and it just wasn't working. And it was actually the formatting. Oftentimes, it can be like a middle initial. Put in your name. I mean, I'm not saying that's the case with yours. I'm saying that like over the years, I've learned to guess different things, and sometimes I get lucky and I can figure it out. Other times I have to call. It is hard, and I think this is one of the downsides of using foreign airline, programs, or just dealing with foreign airlines. Not that American airlines are better. Like I don't know. I've run into more
At least you can
problems.
do it
It's not that.
online.
It's the rules. Well, it's just that they sometimes have different rules, right? We're used to doing things a certain way here, so I mean, they're not friendlier. U.S. based airlines are not friendlier,
No.
but maybe we're just more used to the rules or how things work. And yeah, I mean, it's frustrating though. And you, like, to your point, you want to get it figured out before you go to the airport. It just takes a load off of you. You don't want to have to try to figure. I told you, yeah, there'll be a transit day. You'll be able to figure this out even if you get there. But it's like, yeah, well, you don't want that, right? You want it to be done before
Seamless.
you do it and have
Yeah.
peace of mind.
Yeah, and they have this ticking clock on there. Oh, it's 7.5 hours till the last minute that you can check in and stuff. It's like, stop it, man. I want to check in. I've been trying to. I haven't even been able to pick a seat. I've been dealing with this for months. And I could have called. I could have picked up the phone, but I just don't want to do that. And I did pick up the phone, and I called LifeMiles because the flight we had booked was on Turkish from Istanbul to Dublin, and it was in business class, and it was a good deal. I think it was like 54,000 miles for the 2 tickets and $100 in taxes and fees. And now I have to cancel that because we're not using that flight anymore. So I tried to do it online. You're supposed to be able to do it online now. It doesn't make sense the way that you get there. You have to like hit use miles, like you're going to book a flight, and then there's you scroll down a little bit. I'll write something up when I get this all figured out. But I did that same thing. Oh, this doesn't match this ticket number. This code doesn't match your name, or so they put in something weird. Maybe I'll try to mess with it some more. But I was like, you know what? I'll just call. So I called last night. It was like 4:45 p.m. And I don't know if there's a 5 p.m. shut off or close down or whatever, but I got a woman, and we go through the thing, and we get to the point where I verify everything. She's like, all right, I need your approval to cancel, and you're gonna have to pay. And I'm like, yeah, I approve. And she goes, can you hear me, sir? I said, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, sir? And she just kept saying, you can hear me, sir, like 7 times, and then said, oh, since you can't hear me, I'm gonna hang up now. Okay. So I like, oh, the connections there are terrible. Their phone sounds like they're talking in a hallway 30 feet away. I don't understand how anybody has a bad phone connection in 2026. So I call right back. Of course, I get the exact same rep. Go through the same spiel. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Oh, you can't hear me. Hang up. Call right back. And I was going to demand like somebody else. And then it goes right to, oh, sorry, nobody's available. And I'm like, oh, so it was time to go.
She was the last. She was the last one out. Her friends were like, "We're headed to the bar, and you got to get." That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean that does happen. I worked in a call center, and I repeat this advice quite often. And not that this would work in your case, and in most and I'm more talking about in U.S. companies and stuff, but reminding agents that the call is if you feel like they're doing something like that to you, just remind them that the call is recorded and that you have no problem asking their boss to listen to the call to see if what they're doing currently in this moment is in line with what their job is supposed to be. But I love the creativity. Yeah, it's like, it's all not going through. Sometimes you don't want to be caught on this long, but she was at the payment information screen.
Yeah,
so she could have just done it.
Yeah, if she would have done it the first time, I think it would have been fine. But I got to do after we get done recording this. I'm going to call again because I wanted to get this wrapped up. I mean, I can call after. The cool thing about LifeMiles is you can call after the flight and still cancel it. and get your points back or get refunded if you don't take it, which I find completely bizarre. But I wish it was just online, because when I had to rebook things, I could have used these LifeMiles, which I know if I would have called, even if I would have called right away, it would have taken a couple days and I wouldn't have been able to use them because I would have been worried about the space going away. Where if the online would have worked, I think they post right away. So didn't do that, but we're like, all right, we don't want to be in Istanbul. We don't want to spend the night. We just want to land in the airport. We're still going to take that flight and just transit to another place and fly out. So I'm like, all right, let's go somewhere we haven't been. So I list off, I'm like Croatia, Austria. Well, I've been to Austria, but he hasn't. Prague, Switzerland, Poland. And Switzerland, Poland were the two that I really wanted to go to. And I just start searching all the different cities. And it was like always, you know how it is. I could find either a nonstop flight in that worked, but the flight to Dublin was like bad or connection, or there was connection to get from Istanbul there, and then no connection out. And it was like you couldn't find two perfect flights. But we ended up, I was like, all right, Warsaw, the flight out is like 3 hours after we land. It was only 8,000 United miles on Turkish and $25. I'm like, let's book that. And we'll get there. We'll spend a couple nights there. And then going out, flying out, I found a flight on Air France in business for 25,000 Delta SkyMiles and like $25 in taxes and fees. Connects through Paris, which isn't great because Paris airport sucks. But it's business, which, yeah, it's going to be just a block meal seat, but we get drinks and whatever. It'll be okay. And we'll go to the main airport. My buddy's like, oh, they do have a nonstop flight, but it's out of their small podunky airport I've never heard of.
Oh, it's probably like a, what is it, RyanAir or something, or Wizz Air
Yes, that's
in
right.
Poland?
It's
Yeah.
RyanAir.
Yeah. So
So it's like, it looks like, man, it looks like the Faroe Islands airport where there was two terminals and there's no space for anybody to sit in and just crammed. It looks like a bus stop terminal. And that's where we're going. We're flying RyanAir. I'm like, all right, this guy brings like 3 suitcases everywhere he goes. You're going to get charged up the butt when you get there because all your stuff is big. Good luck with it. If that's what you want to do to cut a couple hours off the trip, I'm okay. It was like $200 cash price. So we booked that. But I'm like, this is not going to be a great experience. I'd rather take an extra 3 hours and have a good experience than maybe we'll be all fine, but I hate RyanAir.
yeah, I mean, I've flown Ryanair a bunch of times, and I think it's an experience. I think Americans are probably more used to it now that we had the low cost carriers forever. But the one thing that they're very adamant about is their rules. So yeah, you like all your baggage. You need to know the sizes are right. You need to know the weights. The weights are important. That's the thing Americans don't, I think, understand as much because we're not used to. A lot of
Yeah.
countries, I mean, they weigh every bag, and there's no way to get around it. And like we don't ever weigh our bags here. Like when you go to an airport, if it's a carry-on bag, who's weighing your bag? Nobody. Even though there might be rules or stuff like that. And so, yeah, it's interesting. I've watched some people have some crazy freakouts at Ryanair. And yeah, other than that, you're thinking of like a Spirit experience, no seat pitch, quick. But if you know what you're getting into and the price is right, I mean, $200, you're still. I probably would do the business class if it was
Yeah.
me.
I think everybody would. I think we get in. I mean, we do get in a bit earlier. I think we leave a little bit earlier. We get in at like 6:30 at night. And the other one, we would have got in at like 10 at night. And I was like, let's just book an airport hotel, crash, get up early, hit the ground running. Because we weren't supposed to originally get there till Monday. And now we're going to get there Sunday. But I booked the Sheraton in Poland using my Bilt $200 credit and $100 Bilt cash. It was like $297 for the 2 nights. So that worked out perfectly. Got that room for free. I'm doing air quotes for people listening. But yeah, that was a good use of it. So hey, Poland still got some rooms where you can use your Bilt credit. Well, but yeah, I think I wanted to do the Delta. We'll see how Ryanair goes. Since we're changing everything up, I was like, you know what? I'm pissed about all this. I don't want to. Originally, I had booked American Airlines Dublin to Philly, Philly to Detroit with a longer layover in Philly. It was 19,000 American Airlines miles per person. Really good deal in economy. And my status got us into Comfort Plus, which is okay. But I'm like, I really don't. I'm probably going to be working. Okay, let me just do some searches. So I've already rebooked everything else. So I found on American Aer Lingus business from Dublin to Dulles, and it was like 57,500 miles and $42 in taxes and fees. And then I booked a United to Detroit for 10K LifeMiles. So I'm using more LifeMiles, transferring more crap over there when I could have just used the ones that I'm going to get from canceling. which annoys me. But so rebook the whole trip basically.
Yeah, I mean, 57,500. That's good. It's a saver award,
Yeah,
so it's
there you
nice
go.
to
It's as good as it
get
gets.
that. Yeah, I think that this is just a great example to show people how you can be flexible, the pains, the downsides. But I think ultimately it leads to a much freer way of travel and a freer way of kind of discovering things and being able to move around, see the things that you want to see.
Well, and then until the next time when I gotta say Portuguese or something or Italian.
Hey, then pretty soon you just get an AI, right? Pretty soon it'll be our AIs negotiating with their AIs. Can you program your AI bot better at negotiation than theirs so that you can get better compensation? I'm sure it'll be a whole battle going on just in a few years.
I'm looking forward to it. Anything that makes my life easier until
There you go.
Terminator T2 day comes.
It's very soon indeed. But until then, let us know what you guys are doing with Hyatt. Are you going to other programs? What programs were you already focusing? How are you earning points? Like, what is your strategy to earn enough points for your travel? All that sort of stuff. Let us know down below. Mark's travel stuff. The Middle East, the wider stuff going on. What are your long-term plans as this sort of stretches on? What are you doing to kind of change plans if you have things going on? What are you kind of eyeing in the future? Let us know down below. We do 2 shows a week, and we will be back in a couple days on Thursday with another show. Make sure to check us out on Patreon if you're interested in diving more with our gold content, our diamond Slack, the best in the business. Great community there. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good week. See you on Friday. We're going to be a little bit late this week because of Turkish.
Oh, the schedule the last couple weeks, but yeah, exactly. Blame it all on Turkish. Bye.